Thank you, Molly, for that very kind introduction. It is such a pleasure to be here with you all today for your annual luncheon, and certainly as you celebrate 140 years of service to children, youth, adults, and families throughout Minnesota. You do amazing work, and you have so much to be proud of. As Molly said, I'm currently serving as the director of the Change in Mind Institute at the Alliance for Strong Families and Communities. And we work to translate knowledge into best practices to really improve communities across the nation to realize our vision of a healthy and equitable society for all. Our strategic action network of thousands of social sector professionals work with millions of people every day to help them build, maintain, and restore their physical, emotional, social, and economic well-being. The Family Partnership has been a member of the Alliance since our founding more than 100 years ago. I have not been with the Alliance for 100 years, but. And as Molly mentioned, she currently serves as the chair of our board. So when I was asked to speak with you today, I certainly had to say yes. As Molly also mentioned, the Family Partnership was one of 15 organizations that participated in the Change in Mind initiative. 10 were here in the United States, as Molly mentioned, and 5 in Alberta, Canada. For the past 2 years, I've really had the honor and the privilege to work closely with the Family Partnership team, and I have learned so much from them as they work to infuse, align, and accelerate the brain science research across their organizations. I would like to take a moment to specifically acknowledge John Till for his passion, his innovative ideas, and his valuable contribution to the Change in Mind cohort. John, wherever you are, thank you. So the Change in Mind initiative, with support from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and in partnership with the Alberta Family Wellness Initiative in Canada, really worked to transform the way our systems and our policies interact with children, families, and communities based on the latest advances in the neurosciences. An explosion of research over the past 2 decades have shown that experiences, both positive and negative, greatly influence the architecture of a child's developing brain and their subsequent emotional, cognitive, social, and neurobiological functioning. Specifically, the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study, or what we know as the ACEs study, showed us that ACEs, like child abuse and neglect, are common. They're highly interrelated, they're cumulative, and they're strongly correlated with poor health and well-being outcomes. In fact, the more ACEs you have, the higher your risk for just about every social, behavioral, and physical health problem. In fact, ACEs are the leading determinant of public health spending in our country today. In addition, mounting research from the neurosciences and psychology tell us that there's a set of underlying core capabilities that we all need in order to manage life, work, and to parent effectively. These include our ability to focus, to cope, to interact with each other in healthy and productive ways, and scientists have named these capabilities self-regulation and executive functioning skills. In a recent issue of the American Academy of Pediatrics Journal, researchers reported that parental exposure to adverse childhood experiences can negatively impact child development in multiple domains, including problem solving, communication, and social and motor skills. This research really enforces and reinforces the need for 2-generational approaches in working with children and families, especially those who have experienced adversity or are living in adverse conditions. Change in Mind set the stage for the cutting-edge work that the Family Partnership has identified as the focus of their organization today. I'd like to take a moment to highlight a few examples. The Family Partnership is measuring the ACEs scores of their clients, and they have learned that 92% of their clients have 1 or more ACEs compared to 55% of Minnesotans. Similarly, 57% of their clients have 4 or more ACEs compared to 24% of Minnesotans. And in the original ACEs study, in 1995 through 97, 12% had 4 or more ACEs. So they're implementing a 2-generation approach to executive functioning coaching so that children in their therapeutic preschools have the support that they need to build their executive functioning skills, while their parents, who also have high ACE scores, are similarly supported in building their own executive functioning skills. No one else in this country has developed a 2-generation approach to executive functioning. So it is critically important innovation by the Family Partnership that we will all be watching and learning from. The Family Partnership, as Molly mentioned, is a recognized expert on sex trafficking. Their sex trafficking program, known as PRIDE, is 40 years old this year. It is the oldest sex trafficking intervention program in Minnesota. They recognize that if we do not help survivors of trafficking change their economic circumstances, future generations will continue to be trapped in the cycle of poverty and exploitation that has already devastated so many families in Minnesota and beyond. They are innovating by implementing the mobility mentoring program with their PRIDE clients, and they're doing this in partnership with the Minneapolis Rotary Club. This is an evidence-based coaching strategy designed to increase executive functioning skills that are really necessary for participants in getting and keeping jobs and also completing a college degree. The Family Partnership is not afraid of a challenge. It is implementing mobility mentoring, first with some of its most economically vulnerable clients within their PRIDE program, and then once additional resources are secured, they will expand these services to families served by their in-home parenting program, as well as their therapeutic preschools. This is a very important strategy in terms of breaking intergenerational cycles of poverty, exploitation, and adversity. Now, I know I'm not supposed to have a favorite Change in Mind site or a favorite Alliance member, but the Family Partnership is certainly high on my list. And I'm a Badger fan from Wisconsin. The Family Partnership has shifted their entire organization's focus to using brain science to inform their programs and their policies, including building executive functioning and self-regulation skills, and doing that through a 2-generation approach. It shows that they have embraced the brain science concepts and the goals of Change in Mind, and it certainly is now in the DNA of their organization. They have truly embraced the charge to transform their organizational culture, their systems, and their policies, and chose to innovate in game-changing ways that will truly make a meaningful difference in the lives of children and families in Minnesota. They are doing things in ways that no one else in the field is, with a laser-focused mission on breaking intergenerational cycles of exploitation and poverty and ACEs. If any organization can do it, it's the Family Partnership. Their leadership, their vision, their commitment, and their willingness to fail, to succeed, is truly inspirational. They carry the best interest of all Minnesotans in every aspect of the work that they do. Again, it is such an honor to be here with you today as you celebrate your years of service, your many successes, and more importantly, all that you have done over the last 140 years to improve the lives of children, adults, families, and communities throughout Minnesota and across this country. So congratulations on 140 years. I want to say, here's to 140 more, but hopefully through your dedication and your innovative ways, Minnesotans will be living healthier, happier, and more productive lives, and your services will no longer be needed. But until that day, I look forward to learning from you and working together to create new and innovative ways to generate sustainable and meaningful change in your state and across America, because we are indeed better together. Thank you.